Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Hey man, we're out here on the highways and byways, coming week in and week out, day in and day out, prophesying the downfall of Babylon the Great, as well as to wake up the elect of the nation of Israel. You know, before we get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakadash. A double honor to the other apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone, who very well, very beautiful. Those citations to the October Christian gospel, truth, and sincerity, the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh Hashem, whose spirit, Yahweh Hashem, peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Hashem, Lord, will come upon our house.
Father, Shalom, man. Peace be unto you, brothers, and you sisters that are out there in the four winds of the world, giving all diligence to make the calling and election sure, man. Okay, so it's ultimately going to go into the judgment that's that's coming for America, aka Babylon the Great, man. Like the judgment that's written. You see, this was very close to Revelation.
This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. It says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Right, man. World War I and World War II are written in the book of Revelations, but nevertheless, that third woe is referencing to World War III. Okay, which has always been referenced ever since we've been growing up as the war in all wars. Okay, because this war is not going to be fought just for little tanks. It's going to be tanks, foot soldiers, all right, and air fighter jets, but there's also going to be nuclear weapons involved as well. All right, which Babylon the Great Judgment is to be destroyed with nuclear fire, man, and that's going to be accomplished by the way of these ICBM nuclear missiles that Yahweh Shai had the kings of the earth ultimately manufacturing, man. You see, because all things obey his will. You see, there's a reason why the Lord has these different nations creating these nuclear weapons. All right, because there's going to come a point in time when they're going to be used to execute the indignation of the Lord on America.
Yeah, just going into this again, and that war is coming, man. You know, this is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Right. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." Yeah, I got it. But yeah, man, so ultimately what's happening is you got a lot of these nations, bringing forth their military, man, strengthening their military. They're gathering their military and saying, hey, and that comes with the wars and the rumors of wars that are happening right now, which are also signs of the times that we're in, So this is what's happening. These nations are ultimately gearing up for war. And you're starting to see that, man. You have, Iran, where last year they were starting to basically, show off their military power, showing off their missile arsenal, I guess. You had Iran going and doing that, man. It will, not too recently, or not too long ago, more recently, you had North Korea basically showing off, doing like little basically showing off, man, for Kim Jong-un, but they were, obviously broadcasting it, man. They had their military men running their freaking heads into cinder blocks, 6 to 8 inch cinder blocks, man, and fucking and laying their backs on, on smashed glass with a big ass cinder block, and the dude's, using a fucking hammer to crack. Come on, man. They're doing all types of shit, man. Yeah, this is what's going on. Yeah, they're getting ready, man. And they're showing it. The Lord Yahweh Shai is having these nations broadcast them getting ready, man. Showing the world that, hey, these nations are building their military for something that's coming soon, man. And I got another precept that says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Now you go into your plowshares and your pruning hooks. These are farming tools, man. So, which is symbolic point, you ultimately building up your economy, building up your people, stabilizing your economy, and it says, be your plowshares and swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Now, these are tools of war, and so ultimately what that's going into is they're taking their focus off of their economy and focusing more on their military, and focusing more, which we're starting to see more and more, them building that nuclear arsenal.
I want to say too, because of China, they developed that hypersonic missile, a little over 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was able to circle the earth and hit its target. See, so that's a very powerful weapon that's going to be used. And different articles that were Brittany was talking about it, was referencing the U.S. and how they have no idea how they got, such technological advances in a short period of time. It was but all the time developing this,
Right.
we're close to it. Every day that we wake up, we get closer and closer to the end of this quick. You see, so meanwhile, these nations are preparing, man. Meanwhile, while you people out here are sleeping and not paying attention, you know.
I got basically a precept, because proving that they're not focusing on their economy, but they're focusing on their nuclear weapons, man. And really, it's the Lord Yahweh Shai doing it, man. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It says, "Behold, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument of his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." So the Lord Yahweh Shai is having the nation again focus more on their military, getting these weapons of destruction ready, man, for this war. As it says in Ecclesiastes 3:1, there's a season, time, and a purpose to everything, man. So there's a reason why these nations are ultimately, not focusing on their economy, focusing on their trade and their import and export and so on and so forth, but they're focusing more on their instruments of war, man. Why? Because the Lord Yahweh Shai has a grievous destruction coming for America, man. Because you look at the problem that these nations have, it's with America. China over the Taiwan bullshit, with America, and you go to Russia with the Ukraine bullshit. Russia wants to be able to, go into Ukraine and do whatever it wants to do. You've got America sticking its nose in a business that it has nothing to do with, man. Just like, the Taiwan man, the Taiwan bullshit, man. You got North Korea, who's always hated America. You got Iran over this Syria bombing that happened recently, and then you got Israel and Gaza, going at it. You got a lot of these Muslim countries, like Turkey. That's all these nations are against America, man. And these nations are ultimately going to be those ones that set up round about America and fire at America, man. Which again is prophesied to happen. This is going to be that World War III that is going to take place. I'll keep going. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves round about who? Man? Round about America." And we can go into what is that? Jeremiah the 50th chapter, starting at the 9th verse. This is what's coming. All these nations are going to ultimately come up against America, aka Babylon. This is prophesied to happen. Why? Because America is that sinful kingdom. Man. America is that a place of sin. So I'm gonna finish this off. You want to grab that? Yeah, I'll grab this, and I'll finish this off. This is Joel chapter 2 verse 11 or 3 verse 11. It's like this: "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Then there cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord." And that's going into the angels, man. Those mighty ones, man, stirring up the minds of these damn nations. To ultimately get back into that, especially Russia, man. Get back into that Soviet Union type mindset, man. Get back into that Cold War type mindset, man. He's having that mentality come back onto the nations. That again is going to be pointed towards America, man. 50 and
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 9, and it reads, "Below, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations."
An assembly of great nations, man. And we know that Babylon is America, man. Babylon the Great is America. The mother of all harlots is America, right? So it says you're going to have an assembly of great nations to come up against Babylon, man, which we know, there's going to be allies of America, that's going to come up against America. And we're already starting to see America cut ties with this allies. You had this AUKUS deal, the AUS UK, which is Australia, the United States, and the United Kingdom. They ultimately came into a deal with each other. Bro, what did that do, man? That stepped on the foot of America's oldest and most reliable ally, which is France. France had a deal, a nuclear submarine deal with Australia, and America came and stepped on their toes and snatched Australia away from France, man. Well, that pissed France off. What did France do? They went back into the European Union and said that, and basically told all of the European countries that they have to rethink their companionship with America, man. Which America is, has a lot of companions up there, has a lot of allies up there. happening is they're going to ultimately start rethinking and saying, you know, if they're willing to backstab their oldest and most reliable ally, they're willing to backstab us, right? Yeah. So that's going to have America's allies ultimately come up against it, you know? It's going to have America's allies come up against them, and not only just America's allies, but guess what, man? It's going to have, matter of fact, this is scripture on it, you know? But it's going to have these nations that are not America's allies, that already hate America, like Iran, like North Korea, like China, like Russia, and so on and so forth. All these nations are going to come up against America, man. You know? This is what's going to happen. You want to finish that with that, then I'll grab this.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. But lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, right, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
Right, man. So these nations are ultimately going to shoot those missiles, you know, at America, you know. But again, this proves that some of these nations are also going to be American allies, man. This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. It says, in the 10 horns, which goes into what? NATO and the EU, man. You know, it says that, which is the beast. It says in the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and shall burn her with fire. That's going into those ICBM nuclear missiles, man. You know, and what's the reason why they're gonna be hating America? Why? It's because in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, starting at the 3rd verse, man. The man of sin, the son of perdition, is being revealed. You know, and that's going into Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white. You know why? Because he's ultimately, like it says in Revelation, the 12th chapter, the 9th verse, that he's deceived the whole world, man. He's pushed this philosophy, you know, this way of life upon the whole world via the beast, which is NATO and EU, you know, pushed this upon the whole world, and what it was, and made to have people think that the way that the lifestyle that America is pushing is a righteous lifestyle, when in reality, it's a sinful lifestyle, man. It's a very sinful and iniquitous lifestyle, man. That's why it has to be destroyed. And the Lord Yahweh Shah is going to use these militaries, these armies, to destroy this place, man. Because again, pursuant to Amos, the 9th chapter, the 8th verse, it says, behold, the eyes of the Lord, going into the angels in the chariots, man, which are seeing them constantly, man. You know, and yes, we get excited. You know, we give all praise every time we see a chariot. Hey, but they're not just here for us, man. They're here also to report what the hell's going on in the earth, man. You know, like it says in Proverbs 15 chapter, the 3rd verse, it says, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Shah are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Hey, so not only are they here for us to check out what we're doing, hey, but they're here checking out what America's doing, man. And guess what? They're literally taking a tally of all the wicked ass shit that America is doing, man. And guess what? They're taking it right to the footstool of Yahushua, who's taking it right to the Heavenly Father, man. Taking it right to the throne of the Heavenly Father and saying, look at what my brethren are going through. Yeah. Look at what this place is doing to them. You know, because ultimately a lot of this stuff that's going on is established to take out the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. That's why this, you know, because again, this is our heritage, man. Why did Esau Edom set up everything to have, as far as food, pork in it, man? Why did they change it to where every piece of fabric that we look at has multiple different kinds of linens in it, man? Because they did everything against the scriptures, man. Yeah. And that was in order to prevent us from coming to who we are, man, and to being empowered. You know, so everything that they have done was against the Lord, against his people, right? Which again causes a whole bunch of sickness, causes a whole bunch of falling away from the Most High, not doing what the Most High tells you to do, which ultimately puts us in a position of getting punished, you know. So Esau Edom is basically doing everything he can in his power to be able to make sure that we don't come to our power. Well, guess what? That's the reason why Yahweh Shai put us, send the comforter, man, came and died for our sins. Put us in that grace period, man, so that way we can follow the ones, the law, statutes, commandments that we're able to follow and be covered for the ones that we're not able to because of what Esau fucking did, man. Yeah. And that's why, I'm saying, that's why, a lot of people,
when they hear what we have to say about, the destiny and the future for America, they get mad. But if you were in the spirit of how about Shemal Shai, you would ultimately rejoice.
Right.
Because this place has to be destroyed, man. Wickedness has exceedingly filled the whole earth. This thing's taking place that wouldn't have ever taken place in ancient times, man. Because it would have been dealt with right now if wickedness is supported. Transgenderism, the alphabet, all of that is supported, man. But when you speak out against it, now you're considered a threat, or you're considered domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
You see, that's why it's crazy. Esau will shut down our buildings, the rights of planet Earth, but he won't shut down videos of our people making rap videos and voting our people to go out and shoot each other.
Yeah.
That puts a certain vibration on the people's mind that you are not even aware of, man.
Right.
But nevertheless, all the things Esau has done, all right, it's not been forgotten by the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, says in Psalm 109th chapter. Pull that Bible chart. Because this devil ultimately thinks that he's gonna, let's say Psalm 49th chapter, his inward thought is that his dwelling place shall continue for all generations. This devil really believes in his mind that he's gonna continue to deceive and continue to have all these riches so abundantly forever. Okay, but all those riches are going to come to naught. See, when our Lord Yahweh Shai comes, bringing vengeance, right? Bringing destruction to the wicked. And again, we rejoice at that fact because it is a fact. Okay, because we want to be delivered out of here. All right, we're tired of being vexed, man. Just like Lot. You see, with the unlawful deeds of the wicked, man, seeing and hearing things that they do and say. We want all these wicked people, even 2/3 of our people, to be destroyed, man. We want the earth to come, but nevertheless, everything that Esau has done is being remembered and it's never been forgotten.
Right. It's Psalm chapter 109 and verse 14. It says, "Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord, and let not the sin of his brother be blotted out."
Right, man. You see that? Because in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter says, "The Most High requires that which is past."
Right.
That's why it's written that prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. You see, just as we've suffered, all right, and we're being punished for the iniquity of our forefathers disobeying the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shai, these devils are going to have to reap as well. All the punishments that should come upon them, the seed of their fathers.
And I got a precept, because ultimately what we saw yesterday was the simple fact of Esau Edom, because you go into the Rittenhouse trial and everything like that, man. That's I look at that as like, what the fuck, man? Because Esau Edom thinks that and then that goes into another the wickedness of Esau Edom, man. Going into Habakkuk first chapter where it says judgment. Matter of fact, let me grab that, man. Yeah, Habakkuk first chapter, it's talking about judgment, not a right. Yeah, man, because again, judgment's not being pushed forth here on this earth righteously, man. And people are ultimately getting away with.
It's looking for me, right?
Fuck yeah, I can't. Oh yeah. First quote. Because again, ultimately that judgment is not going forth the way it should have. And Esau Edom thinks that he really is going to get it. And I can see that that's mindset, man. When that happens, he really thinks that he's going to be able to get away with whatever he's able to get away with, man. But in reality, the Lord Yahweh is not gonna quit him. What he's doing, man. Let's grab that
This book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 4. Therefore, the law is slack.
Right, because he doesn't go by the law, man. What did he say in Job, I think it's the 21st chapter, the 20th chapter? He said, what, man? Depart from us, for for we roughly paraphrasing, we require not the knowledge of thy ways, man. So they don't care about the law, statutes, of Lord, how much they don't care about the scriptures, they don't care about, really they never think about the latter end of their consequences, man, or the latter end of what they're doing, man, and what the consequences are to come of what they're doing. They don't care about none of that, man. They think that they can do whatever they want and they're good, man. Well, hey, the law tells you, basically, it talks about karma, man. Deal unto others what you would want deal unto you, man. Or an eye for an eye. Scriptures talk about that, man. There's a consequence to everything, man. But Esau Edom don't believe that, man. Which ultimately proves that he's not for the scriptures, man. The scriptures tell you that that everything that you do, there's going to be that same thing is going to be done back unto you.
It says, "In judgment doeth never go forth, right? For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous,
right?
Therefore wrong judgment proceeded,
right? Therefore wrong judgment proceeded, And Esau Edom thinks, by the way that he judges, hey, that's gonna, and then what these damn devils are slick, man. Because they sit there, and majority of the time they don't believe that there's going to be a recompense brought back unto them. But then there's times where they do think about the scriptures, and they think that by acquitting their own people, that the acquittal, that same acquittal is going to come to them, because they only believe on things benefiting them. They don't believe on anything benefiting anybody else except for themselves, man. So at some point they're like, yeah, let me try and follow the law says, because they're doing it wrongfully, for their own good, but that's not going to help them, man. That's not going to help them at all. They're not going to get acquitted, man. In Nahum, the first chapter, it straight up tells you, Nahum 1:3 says, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. Hey, so no matter what you do, you acquit this young fucking dude from murder, from this, that, and the third, all these wicked ass things that he did, in hopes that you will get acquitted, man. Putting out that, oh, I'm forgiving energy, so that the Most High can sit there. No, it's not going to work, man. You are literally a people built to do nothing but sin. Like it says in, Jeremiah, the 13th chapter, the 23rd verse, can an Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots, or him that is accustomed to do evil do good? No. The self-proclaimed so-called white man has done nothing but evil, has done nothing but sow evil in the earth. What the hell makes you think that he's going to receive all of a sudden because he do something good? Or as it says in, I think it's Job the 18th chapter, it says his children shall seek to please the poor. And no matter what he does, you have his Christian pastor sitting coming over here, and the so-called jakes that are in his congregation, having all the so-called white folks put their hand on them and asking for forgiveness. You think that that's going to change what your outcome is to be? No, it's not going to change any of that, man. Your outcome is to be destroyed. Scriptures tell you this is the portion of a wicked man. Your portion is to be destroyed. Which you can read that in Job, the 20th chapter, the last few verses, man. This is what's coming to you, damn devils, man. Because you are wicked as hell, man. And I want to finish this. It says Nahum 1:3, the Lord is slow to anger and great power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm, and the clouds of the dust of his feet. Right, man. He's not going to quit you damn devils, man. He's not going to sit here and hem you up just to release. They hemmed Kyle Rittenhouse up just to release that.
Man, they knew they were going to do it too.
Hell yeah, they knew they were going to.
When they gave him that option to be able to choose his jury. I mean, come on, man. Somebody that just, committed cold-blood murder on camera in front of thousands of people is now being let free. Right. That's supposed to show you how the scriptures reign supreme, as it says in Job 6 chapter, man. It's a land of darkness, and darkness itself, and it's a land without order. Right. There's no order here, man. Everything is out of order. And that's because of who's sitting in the power seat. See, he is not judging right. He doesn't go based off the laws of Yahweh, which is how you live in righteousness. Right? You see, that's why this devil has to be destroyed. And I got a quick one too. This is Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, Yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Say, let favor be shown to the wicked. He's still not going to learn righteousness, man.
Right.
Because this is the wicked. Okay, this is the ungodly in the earth. And his part of the story is to be, crooked, man. All right? It's to take peace from the earth, to make perverse decisions that ultimately destroy the people and life itself. That's why the Lord says he's going to come and destroy them who destroy the earth. When you ask yourself, well, who's destroying the earth? Again, look at who's in power. Okay? Look at who's spraying damn chemtrails in the sky. I mean, yesterday was the worst I've seen in probably like the last 2 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just all over the sky. We're talking about 20 to 30 throughout 1 hour, just 30 to 40 planes, man. Spraying all throughout the sky, hundreds a day. How much money is that for that to happen? And why are they doing it? That's the whole agenda and the whole mindset of the devil is to steal, kill, and destroy. Right. He does that on many levels and different aspects, man.
Right. Yeah. Going back to Psalms again. We're talking about some of the things that Esau Edom has done and how he hasn't judged the right. How he he ultimately kills, steals, kills, and destroys, and so on and so forth. All these wicked things that Esau Edom does, and we read in Psalms the 109th chapter. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it again in the 14th verse. It says, "Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out." Hey, so the Lord Yahweh Shai, he remembers what you're doing. He sees what you're doing. Again, the angels are here, man. They see, beholding the evil and the good. So they see, and they're writing down. They're taking notes on what's happening and taking it straight to the Lord, man. And you best believe it's a lot, man. You best believe it's not just a couple things that they're doing. It's every time that they do that same thing, it's being recorded, man. Okay, well, you did this one thing 115,000 times. You did this one thing 210 million times. You did this one thing, this, that, and the third. Okay, it's an array of different things. Let's say it's 144 different things, but you're doing those same 144 things like 200 million times each, man. Hey, the Lord Yahweh sees every single time that you did that, man. And it's crazy because Esau Edom does the same thing, but he does it in a more sinister, more cruel way the next time. So each time that he does it, he gets worse. And he gets worse, he gets more cruel, he gets more wicked with it, man. He starts to try to perfect that one thing. You know what I mean? Like it says Micah 2:1, it says, "Woe unto them that devise iniquity upon their beds, or devise iniquity or evil upon their beds, because it's in the power of their hands." Man. So they're literally sitting here. They literally sit there, and because then you go into the word devise, means what? To think or to meditate wickedness, man. This is what they're doing, man. They're devising iniquity. How to do sin, because iniquity, what? Sin upon sin, man. So they're literally sitting there thinking and meditating on how they can do wicked ass shit every day, and the next wicked thing on top of that, man. And how to do it greater, how to do it better, how to do it with more style. And you best believe the Lord Yahweh knows that. What do you say? He tries to reign in their hearts, so he understands what they're thinking, man. He understands what your intent is. Yeah. Just like he read the Pharisees, he read their fucking mind, man. He read their mind. Yahushua read their mind. And so you best believe that he can read your mind. He understands what your intent is. Yeah. And through the Spirit, he reveals that unto us. And we tell everybody what your intent is, man. Like it says, lest you get advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices. His devices goes to what, man? His mental preparation, his plans, man. His meditation, man, on what he's going to do, He don't go out there and tell people, hey, but what happens? The Lord Yahweh throws out little, tips for the prophet, and the prophets catch on to it, man.
Yeah, like I said, man, that what I tell you and that what I speak unto you in the ear, declare that upon the housetops, man.
Right, man.
So that's us coming out here and lifting up this banner, man.
Right.
Okay, these devils, they hate it, man. They hate it because they bank on people not paying attention.
Right.
They bank on people not knowing that God. So when we're coming out and we're revealing all of it, okay, what you need to do, and what's contrary to bound down to the devil, he pushes to serve you how about you all the time. Okay, these devils don't want you to do that. That's why on YouTube there are policy guidelines they have that's still on there that if you advocate prayer, all right, and you can earth the medicine, they can sit down.
Right.
This devil doesn't want you to do anything that involves righteousness and righteous acts. See, he wants you to be completely submissive unto him with your eyes closed moving forward.
Right. Keep reading. This is Psalms 109 and 15. It says, "Let them," meaning his iniquity, be before the Lord continually. And he says he's angry with the wicked every day, man. So that means what? The same thing that you did yesterday, you're gonna do it today. That's why he's upset, because you're gonna continue to be wicked. He created the wicked to be wicked. He didn't create you wicked people, the so-called white men and white women, to be righteous. He created them to be wicked, man. So therefore they're gonna have to pay for all their sins, man. But you got these people talking about, oh, I didn't sin. My ancestors did. Well, the scriptures tell you that you're gonna have to pay for what your ancestors did, man. You're going to have, on top of that, he said you are your father. For those that can receive it, there's reincarnation within the Bible, man. People coming back after 2 or 3 generations, man. That same spirit coming back might not look the same. Hey, but guess what, man? Your spirit is back here on earth, man. So you are paying for what you did in your past life, man. All these people that live here today, all these Edomites, biblically called Edomites, the self-proclaimed so-called white men and white women, and guess what? They're living deliciously off of what their ancestors did, man. And they're not sitting there saying, "Oh no, I'm not going to live this lifestyle, because of what my ancestors did." All the things that they put in store for us, or they laid up for us, like the system that's constantly against the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to put us in prison and so on and so forth. And they're not tearing that system down and building up a new system. No, they're living off of that system. You got Kyle Rittenhouse, who literally benefited off that system just yesterday, man. Who got acquitted for murder, attempted murder, for bearing a weapon underage. He got acquitted on all 5 different accounts, man. Well, really, there's 7 accounts because 2 of them got dropped. So Esau, Edom, again, the so-called white men and white women, and they're benefiting off of what their ancestors have put in place. Hey, so you damn sure believe that they're gonna have to pay for all of that, man. They're not paying for it right now. They're gonna have to pay for it eventually, man. Yeah. Come on, now you're telling me that a group of people, a whole nation of people, can sit here and commit genocide, murder, take out the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans on many different levels, put them in prison, kill them, and hold themselves not guilty, as it says in Zechariah 11:5. And you're telling me that these people are not going to get a punishment? No, they're going to get a punishment. And it's going to be a very bad punishment. Because according to the scriptures, according to the Bible, it tells you that punishment is going to be real bad, man. Now, going back into their iniquity, the scriptures tell you that what? Their iniquity is literally being remembered every single day with the Lord. I'll read it again. Psalm 109 and verse 15, it says, "Let them," meaning their iniquity again, "let them be before the Lord continually, that they may be cut off, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth, because that he remembered not to show mercy." Because again, you go into the history of the so-called white people and what they have done unto the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and they've showed absolutely no mercy. It says, because that he remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and the needy, man. Who's the poor and the needy? The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. We're the poor, we're the needy, we're the ones that are in the lowest estate on the earth, man. And it all stems back to us going off in serving other gods, man, falling in the ways of the heathen. That's why we're in this position today, man. That's why we're still in captivity, man, under the white man, And whether you want to hear it or not, hey, this is the truth, man. It's what the Bible says. It's not what we're saying. It's what the Bible says, man. You can read Rule 3 and 8, man. We are yet to stay in our captivity, man. It says, but persecuted the poor and needy, that he might even slay the broken in heart. And we're the broken in heart, man. We're the ones that are constantly seeing our loved ones being perished. We're the ones that are having to sit here and work the hardest and have to pay the most taxes. We're the ones that are having to go through being beat down in the fucking streets and having no recompense for it, man. Having no true justice, man. So because Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white men and white women, have done all these atrocities to our people and showed no mercy doing these things, because hey, for some of the things that they've done to our people, it goes past just hanging. It goes past just all that. You got to look at the fact that our women were pregnant. They cut the bellies of our women out, caught the babies, chopped the babies up, and used them as alligator bait. They did more than just those things, man. They did some. We're talking about some crazy things that's not even talked about in school, man. You know. So because they did not show no mercy, and there's going to be no mercy showed unto them. And I got this. This is James chapter 2, verse 13. It says, "For he shall have judgment without mercy." Right? Esau Edom is going to have judgment without mercy. Right? It says that hath shown no mercy. Because he hath shown no mercy, he ain't gonna get no mercy, man. You know? And mercy rejoices against judgment, right, man? You know, so in Esau, you need that mercy. Guess what? You ain't gonna have no mercy, man. You're gonna get straight judgment. That's all you get, man. When you got a little Easter basket, you get all different types of candy in it. No, Esau, you don't gonna get one type of candy, man. It's gonna say judgment all over it, man. And I tell you right now, it's gonna be a very bitter ass, and that's crazy, man. That's crazy. The elder Apostle Lamar was talking about how America, which if you look up the word America, it stands for bitter, right? Yeah. That's an omen because that's how America's gonna go out, very bitter, man. You know, America's gonna go out very bitter, man. Very violent. America's going down, man. And we can't wait till it's fully goes down. This place is fucking, it's a wicked ass place, man. You know? And that judgment is coming, man. Again, it's gonna be by way of ICBM nuclear missiles. World War III is in the brewing as of right now. You know? Are nuclear missiles just gonna pop out of the fucking sky? No, they're not, man. They're not gonna pop out of the fucking sky. There has to be a build-up to them being fired off. And that's why you got a lot of these nations, you know, getting into, you know, little scuffles with America, little small scuffles and back and forth arguing this, that, and the third, you know, because ultimately all these things lead up to that World War III, man. This is what's coming, man. We already read it in Joel 3 and 9. Prepare ye war, or claim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare ye war, man. War is being prepared right before our fucking eyes, man.
Yeah, it's going to be the worst war of all time.
Yeah.
You know, because not only are you going to have the thermonuclear destruction touching down on America, Babylon, and Great, you're going to have missiles be shot off in different areas of the world as well. All right, but hey, according to prophecy, man, America, Babylon, the Great is going to be left a lake of fire, man.
Right.
200 million warheads are going to touch down and penetrate the soil.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people have a problem with that because knowing that America is going to be destroyed kills your hopes and futures, man. You know, and all your dreams that are associated with this place. Well, our hopes and futures is to be of the elect, standing in the chariots above the firmament, looking down on the destruction of this place, man.
Right.
That's our desire, man. And every one of us brothers, man, you sisters, that's the end goal of this, man, is to be on those chariots looking at the destruction of this place. Because well deserved. You know, but the point being, it's going to go out with fire. The Lord promised that He would never destroy the world with water again. Right. Hence, that's why you see the rainbow. Okay, as it's written, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, right, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you want to get that 2 Peter 3 and 7. Okay, because hey man, this fire that's coming, this is the new flood, man. And right now, you know, we're seeing flood-like behaviors as in Matthew 24th chapter, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall also be the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Well, Noah was a prophet, man. Okay, and the prophet, and Noah's here on the earth again, prophesying of the new flood to come. Ain't that crazy, man?
Right.
He prophesying
we're spiritual Noah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Preaching the righteousness, you know. But nevertheless, man, these people are listening to us, but they're gonna want to listen in the day when the missiles are seen flying throughout the sky. Was too late. You know, you gotta.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 6. It says, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished.
Right. That was the days of Noah. Right. Noah was burning with the flood, man. That was to come and destroy the ungodly that dwell on the earth. You understand that how Allah shine only saved those 8 righteous souls, man. Noah and his family. Okay.
Which is symbolic to the elect.
And that's written. In matter of fact, we're gonna grab that real quick in Rock 44 and 17.
You know scripture?
Yeah.
This is Sirach chapter 44 and verse 17. It says, Noah was found perfect and righteous in the time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came.
And he was left as a remnant. Now the point, only a remnant is going to be saved. Out of the house of Israel, written in Isaiah the 10th chapter, though Israel be numbered as the sands of the sea, only a remnant shall return. and only a remnant is going to be saved.
Going back to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7, it says, "But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men."
Right, man. The heavens and the earth that are in store now are being preserved, are kept, kept specifically for a purpose that's going to be set up, which is that fire.
Right.
You see, and that's why you see everything happening the way it is, and all these uproars of people. Okay, all these different families that are about to hit here pretty soon and get a lot worse. Okay, all these earthquakes and diverse places, like the Lord was saying, these are the signs of the time. We understand that we're in high time to wake out of sleep because our salvation is near, and by default, a great salvation is coming. But it's also going to be a great destruction, man. You see, that's what we're going to need salvation in that day. So when the missiles start falling and the chariots pull up and they start shooting lasers, there's nowhere else to go but up, man. If you're going to be here on the ground, you're going to be pulverized. You're going to be turned into stubble, as it's written in Malachi the 4th chapter. All the wicked, all that be proud, shall be stubble in that day that shall burn as nothing.
Right.
So that's the end goal of the wicked, is to be destroyed. You see, that's why the scriptures tell you to leave off wickedness, man, and humble yourselves and turn to the Lord and seek His face. Okay, because that destruction that's coming is going to be the greatest destruction that ever take place for all eternity, man. It's going to be so great. It's always going to be talked about, in the kingdom, man. All these nations are going to talk about it, man. Even us, man, amongst ourselves, we're always going to talk about that destruction, but also the great deliverance that came for us for a little more of the elect.
Yeah, Carlos. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4 says that I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues." Man, and again, we're talking about those ICBM nuclear missiles, right? And it really, because they're also described as arrows, right? You can go to, what is it, 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, or 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. I think it's the 13th verse. It talks about those arrows being shot off, right? That's talking about the ICBM nuclear missile. Matter of fact, you want to grab that? And then, because we're going to prove that no arrow can be shot from one end of the earth but the other, man. The farthest you will get an arrow to be shot off is maybe 200 yards, man. Maybe 200-300 yards. That's about the max distance for an actual bow and arrow, man. Those arrows are not talking about, those actual arrows. It's talking about ICBM nuclear missiles. Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
Right.
His arrows that he shooteth are sharp.
Right.
It shall not miss when he begins shot into the ends of the world.
Right, man. How are you going to actually shoot a bow and arrow to the ends of the earth, man? Yeah. That's not going to happen. These are talking about ICBM nuclear missiles, right? This is talking about those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. You got the submarine, nuclear submarine missiles. You got the cruise missiles. You got the orbit missiles that China's coming out with. They're all nuclear, man. And a nuclear missile is the strongest missile ever created. These are the missiles that are going to hit America, man. And these missiles, and it describes to you what is going to happen, man. How these arrows, which again, you got simple people out here, man. Actual arrows? No, these are ICBM nuclear missiles, man. And we're going to prove that, because there's only one, there's only one thing that's going to cause these plagues to happen upon the earth, man.
Right?
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Now let's look at Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 12.
Right.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people.
Right. It says, "But come out of her, my people, and receive none of her plagues," man. And that plague is going to be, again, the ICBM nuclear missile. Go ahead.
That have fought against Jerusalem.
Right. It's going to be upon all those, starting with Esau, Edom, all the way down to you heathen nations, man. Every single last one of y'all that dwell here in America, man. Go ahead.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Stop right there, man. Can an actual arrow do that? No, it can't, man. An actual bow and arrow cannot consume your flesh from off of your fucking body, man. The only thing that can do that is radiation and fire. That's the only thing that can do that. If you go into an area like what is it? What is that one place desolate now? It's called Chernobyl. You go into Chernobyl and there's such high radiation. If you dwell there for a period of time, eventually your skin will start to burn off, will start to rot off of you, man, and fall off. That's what radiation does. But not only that, a fire does the same fucking thing. If it's hot enough, it'll literally melt your skin from off your body.
Just think about like candle wax, man. If you want to get like a lighter, or maybe even a torch, because torch is a lot more powerful. It burns harder, but
Right.
it's like fire to wax, man. Wax melts. The Lord said He's gonna melt a lot of people. Hey, these people deserve to be melted, man. Right. Just like candle wax. I mean, what purpose are these people on earth serving? I mean, they wake up, they go to work. All right, and they come home and do wickedness. And then throughout the week, they do wickedness. They might go to church one day every 3 years, you know what I'm saying, and get dipped in dirty water, and now all of a sudden they're saved.
Right.
And then right after they do that, they go and do some more wickedness, man. See, it's even so bad with these little kids now, man. These younger generations, these little boys acting like little girls, man. Wearing nail paint, wearing lip gloss and shit, and all types of makeup. It's what the place is going for. Like that video a while ago, you had a mom that was actually falling in love with her son.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. What kind of shit is that?
Actually having sexual intercourse with her own fucking son.
And she even said, she's like, my other kids, I think he was 22, and she said her other kids were feeling weird about it, but they've accepted it. Her parents were feeling weird about it, but damn well they didn't accept that, man.
Hell yeah, they didn't accept it. They have to deal with it because they're grown-ass people. You can't control a grown-ass person.
And what are they going to tell her? What really can you do? See? The scriptures clearly tell you that you shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother, man. But then this place is completely anti-righteous. It's completely anti-Yahweh Shai. Yeah. So that's why it's no surprise when you see these things. But we're tired of seeing it, man.
Right.
We're tired of being tired of seeing this shit.
Yeah. Getting tired of being tired.
And all you brothers, man, you sisters, this is true the exact same way, because that's the spirit that we're in. We're a spirit of mourning, man. Right. As a great, a wise man's heart is in the house of mourning, or the fool's heart is in the house of mirth. All these people in the world are, trying to have fun and still trying to, stretch out that joy. But all the joy is dark, man. We're in dark time. We're about to get a lot darker.
It's Revelation 18:5 says, "For sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquity." So because of the sin of this damn nation, because the sin of the people, again, it starts with the elites, man. It's the 10th chapter. It tells you what, as the judge is, so are those officers and those that go under him, right? So the elites, all these people right here, can you go to that side? All these people are wicked as hell, man. And they're the ones that are ruining the earth, man. The elite banker families, man. The Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and so on and so forth, man. The Yetis, all these people are wicked as hell, man. And they're the ones that are in charge. They're the ones that are ruling. So so therefore, guess what? They're the ones that are establishing the rules. They're the ones that are pushing forth that vibration. They're the ones that are putting righteousness on the very back burners, and pushing forth wickedness, man. Therefore, everybody else is wicked. Everybody's wicked, man. Everybody's going to do wicked. And because of that plague is going to come upon them. And again, we're going to continue reading what that plague is going to look like, man. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 14, and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Right.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Right.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Right.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Hey, that's talking about those ICBM nuclear missiles, man. That fire that is to come, man. Because again, we read in 2 Peter chapter 3, the 3rd chapter, that this place, this world that's here, really starting with America, is reserved unto that day of judgment against, or reserved unto fire unto the day of judgment. Once we paraphrase what we just read, hey, this place is preserved, literally held in store, and put on a shelf, and until the Lord Yahweh Shai pulls it off the shelf and starts using it, using it and abusing it. And I tell you right now, that abuse that's coming is going to be fucking bad, man. And you people are in for a fucking whirlwind, man. Some crazy shit is about to happen to America, man. And you people are fucking blind, man. You people don't see it, Even though the prophets are out here on the highways and byways telling you what is to come, and you people walk right by, keep on going about your daily activities, not giving a shit about what's coming, man. You got the American economy going down. You got uproars of people happening all over the earth, And you got Germany, Italy, and Austria locking down their countries.
Yeah.
For the unjabbed, those that don't have the jab, they're getting locked out of place, man. They're getting separated from society, completely separated from society. Those that have the jab, they're allowed to go out and do whatever they want. But those that don't have the jab, those that truly feel that what the government is doing is against the Constitution or against, human rights, and those people are being locked up, man.
Now I want to say too, because in Austria, you've seen that take place more heavily. Like it was the first nation to make mandates. Really, these mandates here in the U.S. they're bullshit, man. They get postponed, they get suspended. Over there in Austria, they're really locking shit down. And at first, on one day, they were saying it was mandatory for all the unjabbed, and their life was going to be lonely and miserable. But then they turned around 2 days later and they said the unjabbed are going to have the same restrictions as the ones that are jabbed, man. So first it was the unjabbed, but now it's both, man. That goes into that prophecy in 2nd 16th chapter. Those that consent unto them are going to be trodden in hand derision.
Right.
These people over there in Austria ultimately took the jab and hoped their life will be easier, but now they're facing the same problems that those that are unjabbed, man.
Right.
It goes to show you this devil doesn't care about you at all.
At all.
And me and the brother, man, the brother Rawai La Yashabala, don't subscribe to him. All right, but he had posted a video in the news where they were showing people taking, the juicy juice, and you actually saw the CHIP in there, man.
Yeah.
You actually seen it. So it just goes to tell you, man, it goes to tell what the devil is doing. That's why you got to call the whole armor of Yahweh Shine to be able to withstand the wiles of the devil.
Right.
He comes with a lot of tricks and deceit, but he can't fool you.
Right. Again, because of those things that he's been doing, he's gonna have to receive that recompense. You put a chip inside somebody, hey, that's wicked as hell, man. Hey, just the act of you giving somebody or stabbing somebody with a fucking needle, that's against the law section of the Lord Yahweh shot, man. Making no cuttings into your flesh, man. But again, he's so that's all he does, man. He's contrary. His whole existence is made to be contrary to the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. He's gonna have to receive a recompense for that, man. And he made it to where his people, the Lord's people, the chosen nation of the Lord, are to literally be against him as well, man. Hey, but now we're coming back into who we are. We're coming into our power. And guess what, man? We're raising up and standing up and telling you again what is to come to America, man, because of these things, man. It is going to be destruction, man. We read it, what the ICBM nuclear missiles are going to do to America, man. And you best believe it's not going to be one or two. It's going to be a whole shit ton. Scripture tells you about, 200 million missiles that are coming to America. Matter of fact, I think I got that. It's in the Romans, this is Revelations, the 9th chapter. I'll start the 15th verse. It says, and the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. And that goes into what happened to the 2nd chapter, man. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. So there's a certain point in time where these things are going to take place. And as of right now, we're seeing that water being put in the pot and starting to be heated up, man. It's going to come to a time where it's about to boil and it's going to boil over, man. And then it's time to remove the pot off of that stove, man. Which is going to be the destruction of America, man. We're coming to these times, man. There's a time, there's a season, a time, and a place for everything. And the destruction is one of those things that's come, man. Yeah. And we're speaking and we're constantly speaking it into existence, man. As the elder Yasharama from the GMS Dallas camp constantly saying, man, speak salvation, speak the destruction into existence, man. Yeah. Right. It says, verse 16, it says, the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And that army is going into what, man? It's going into those ICBM nuclear missiles, which again is the army of the Lord Yahweh Shai. The Lord Yahweh Shai is called the Lord of Sabaoth, man, the Lord of armies. Armies meaning plural, man. So hey, guess what? We're the army of the Lord Yahweh Shai. The chariots is the army of the Lord Yahweh Shai. The missiles are the armies of the Lord Yahweh Shai. And there's many different armies that he is ultimately in control of, man. And this is one of those armies, man. It's going to be those ICBM nuclear missiles. It's not going to be just one. It's not going to be just 5, 10. It's going to be 200,000, which equals up to 200 million missiles. Really 200 million warheads. They're going to hit down here in America, man. This is what's coming. You're telling me that these nations are making these ICBM nuclear missiles for no reason, just to flex their power? No, that's what's coming. That's why you got North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, all these major countries having a problem with America. What's the reason for that, man? It's just out of fucking coincidence? Well, no, there's no such thing as coincidence, man. We read that or we quoted it in Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is a time, a season, and a purpose to everything. There's no such thing as coincidence. These things are happening for a reason. There's a reason why they're building up their nuclear arsenal. It's because of that destruction that's prophesied in the Bible to come to America, man. Babylon the Great. And you people better wake up. The scriptures tell you in Romans, the 13th chapter, the 11th verse, it is high time to wake out of sleep, man. When you're asleep, you're not paying attention to what's going on around you, man. You're not paying attention to the downfall of America. You're not paying attention to the cargo or the supply chain shortage that's happening, where all these cargo ships are docking and giving out those the consumer goods and food and stuff like that. You people are just gonna walk on by and not care about it, man. Yeah. This is and really it's because the Lord Yahweh ain't dealing with y'all, man. Blinded, man. Completely fucking blinded you. You'll stand here and watch and look at what we're talking about and listen for 5, 6 seconds, but never come over and inquire more of what the hell we're talking about, man. Yeah. Why? Because it's not in you people to understand what's going on, man. It's only in those that this word resonates with, man. Those that truly fear Yahweh man. Truly fear who the world ignorantly calls God.
And it was all the will of Yahweh that we woke up, man. Right. When you read that in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, the 13th verse, it talks about how before the foundation of the world, the Most High sanctified us through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. Okay, so there's only going to be a select few spirits that were going to believe in this truth, man. And especially in these last days that we're going to hold on fast to that which they had. Okay, this thing is deadly serious, man. Right. That's why Yahweh Shai said in Matthew the 13th chapter, blessed are your eyes they see, and your ears they hear. Well, everybody has ears and eyes, but Yahweh Shai was talking about that spiritual ears and eyes, man. Right. Okay, because not everybody is going to be gifted that, man. As you seek, brother, me and the brother even through the mercy of the Lord, come out here, every Saturday, and everybody just walks past, man. Everybody. People will stand here for, sometimes 10 seconds. All right, they'll be curious. Then it's like, no, I don't really believe in it. Yeah. Nobody really believes that chaos is going to happen. Nobody really believes that one day they're going to look up and see nuclear missiles falling on top of their house, man.
People don't believe in the Bible, man. The scriptures tell you in Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, written in the Bible is lamentations, mourning, and woe. But you got these preachers out here talking about prosperity. Everybody's going to be saved. Everything that you do is going to be saved. Okay, you're saved. What are you saved from? If you're saved right now, what are you saved from? Destruction ain't happening. Nothing is really happening. You can go about your daily life and be cool, calm, and collected all day, every day. What are you saved from? No, you got to be saved from the destruction that is coming. And as of right now, we're not even saved, man. There's no one in the Bible that is saved, man. No one in the Bible is saved. We saw that Noah was saved from the flood, but is he going to be saved from the destruction that is to come? Now we know, obviously what the scriptures talk about him being righteous, him ultimately enduring in those times. And yes, he is part of the elect. All those that are talked about in the scriptures that endured until their death, they're part of the elect, But as of us, for us in this time, which again, they're here back in the day, or in this day, man, talking about reincarnation, But as for us in this time, hey, guess what, man? We're not saved from shit, man. We're not saved from nothing. Why? Because nothing is happening right now, man. We need to be saved. We need to be delivered. Hey, Yahweh's name is what, man? It means what? The deliverer. What is he delivering us from? The snare of the fowler and the noisome pestilence prophesied in Psalms the 91st chapter. That's what we have to be saved from. You people talking about you're saved in this prosperity bullshit. You people are not fucking saved from shit, man. Right? You people are going to be destroyed, man, because y'all have that mentality of you are already saved, man. Okay, cool. Well, if you're already saved, none of this shit's gonna come upon you. None of what we're talking about, none of that destruction that's come to America is gonna come upon you. You're safe. You're already saved. You're already chosen. And we don't know, man. We don't know if we're chosen. We hope. That's why we're part of the hopeful elect. Hope, man. Right, man. And you people have no hope, man. You people have no hope, man. You people think you're good. Okay, well, cool. Keep that same fucking energy when a nuclear missile's coming in the fucking sky. Actually, you know what? In 300, when they saw all those arrows, which again, the scripture, the isolated nuclear missiles in the scriptures are likened it to arrows. So when you see the sky littered with arrows, with nuclear missiles, hey, keep that same energy. Yeah. Keep that same fucking energy. Because I can guarantee you that nuclear missile gonna come and crack your fucking skull open.
It's terrifying, man. See, that's why it says, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
Right.
At this point, man, us brothers, man, we understand the power of Yahweh outside.
Right.
We know what's gonna happen for us if we turn back, man, or if we give up and lose sight of what's coming, that we're gonna be partakers in it. And ultimately, if you lose sight, you lose the faith, you were never in this thing, man. You never truly believe. If you believe, you're gonna be rooted and grounded. And that's the mentality that we want to keep, is to be rooted and grounded in this truth. Because when that day comes, we want to be delivered and not destroyed. Right. I always say in the videos that I make from the spirit, how death and life should be two major motivators for you, man.
Right.
Knowing of the great destruction that's coming, all right, and how it's gonna happen, and to see Yahweh Shai and the way that's gonna go down, that should ultimately make you want to say, you know what, I don't want to be destroyed. I want to be saved. So it installs that fear of the Lord within you. Right. Then that life, the world to come. All right, the rest and the riches and just the life that we've never experienced before is what should motivate you as well.
Right.
So those two should be in the balance in your mind all the time, man. Death and life, destruction and deliverance. Which is not in the mind of these people at all. No. Their mind is gone. See, but we understand that the election is going to obtain, and the rest is going to be life. Nobody else is trying to understand. Like this is these things that I showed up to see, and you like, which is spiritual. Because I remember I looked up that word "you" on Google, and it literally says a remnant, the elect, on Google. It literally, I challenge y'all. I challenge y'all. I challenge y'all to go do that right now. Few, F-E-W definition on Google. You'll see in the synonyms, or not the synonyms, it's a little definition. It says the elect, the remnant, man.
Right.
That's who's gonna get this.
Yeah.
And we just so happen to be of those that have it, man. That's why, again, you have to hold on to that fast. It's to say, cleave unto him and depart not away. Right. How do you cleave unto Yahweh Shai? You can hold fast to the word. Man.
Right.
The wisdom and knowledge and understanding you were given through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Because there's nothing else here for us, man. This place is prophesied to destroy. This is the destiny. Every day we wake up and get closer to that first destiny, and our destiny as well. Which the Lord willing to be received unto Yahweh Shai. Joined together unto him. Right. That's that true marriage, being joined together with our Lord Yahweh Shai. And being caught up in the clouds and being with him evermore. That's what we want. We don't want to have a big ass mansion or cars and clothes and hoes. We want Yahweh Shai to be with us, man. Right. That's all we want, man. This is the book of Zephaniah. Chapter 1 and verse 14, the great day of the Lord is near. Right. It is near and hastens greatly. Yahweh Shai said he comes quickly, man. And we're seeing, and that's something that, the brother always talk about, is how time is just continuing to speed up every day, man. Shortening the days.
And was this not the year of hasting the Lord?
That's right.
How do we do that, man? By making this video of Christians coming out here on the highways of Bible, speaking again, that deliverance, that salvation into existence, man. Right? Crying unto the Lord Yahweh Shai daily, man. We're constantly in the spirit, man. We're constantly in the position of crying unto the Lord. We're constantly in the position of wanting to get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. We're tired of this place, man. It tells you Revelation 12 and 11, it says in the latter end of that verse, it tells you what? They love not their lives unto death, man. Hey, we real life hate this place, man. You had a date, talk about, hey, I don't know if y'all hate your life. Hey, yeah, hell yeah, we hate our lives, man. Because of the position that we have to live in, man. People are okay with what they have to do, man. Being okay with limited access to things and not being able to know certain things because the government's keeping it away from them, and not being able to know about the or get into the herbs, because the herbs is what heals cancer and and all these other different diseases, you know, but instead are given a type of food to eat instead of being able to pick their own food, go out and grow their own food, and this and the third, man. You know, people are living in a world that ultimately is trying to kill you, man. You know, you people are okay with that, man. We're not okay with that shit. We're not okay with eating the fucking foul bread, you know, drinking the foul water, standing on fucking concrete, our feet hurts, our back hurts, sleeping on bed springs where our back hurts, you know? We don't want to deal with none of that shit, man. Yeah. We're tired of getting fucking headaches, man. We're tired of having, you know, physical ailments, financial instabilities, man. We're tired of all these things, man. You know? Because why a people who's a chosen nation, part of a chosen nation of the Lord, why do we have to go through these things? And as of right now, like Micah said, man, you know, and I think it's 7 and 9, you know, we're gonna bear the iniquity of what we have done, man. You know, we're gonna bear the consequence of what we have done, of the iniquity that we have done against the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. You know, hey, but soon, you know, which we're seeing right now, our captivity is at an end, man. You know, we're at the very end of our captivity, man. You know?
Look, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
Right, man. He said reputed as nothing. Is he not quoting what it says in Isaiah, the 45th chapter? You know? Where the Lord Yahweh said these nations are nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing, man. You know? Go ahead.
But we, thy people,
right,
whom thou hast called thy firstborn,
right,
that only begotten in thy fervent love are given into their hands.
Right, man. We're subject to these nations, man. We're under the captivity of our enemies, man. Starting with Esau, Edom, as well as the Israelites that are scattered abroad, and they're in captivity under these other nations as well, man. You know, which Esau, Edom is the one who's in ruling right now, Job 9 and 24, man. But still, they're in these other nations, still in captivity, man. Under these other nations. So everyone has Israel in captivity as of right now, man. You know, so we're under all these fucking heathens, man. And the Lord Yahweh is going to gather us, man. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes.
Right, because everything was made for the elect's sake, man. The elect's sake, man. You know? All Israel's sake, but the elect first, and then Israel afterwards, man. Go ahead.
If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Right.
How long shall this endure?
Right. How long are we going to be trodden underfoot, man? How long are we going to be the last class? Not even second or third class. We're last class, man. You know? We're the last hired, first fired, man.
Yeah.
You know? In every position. It don't matter what. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what position we're at. We're the last hired, first fired in every position, man. We're literally last class in everything, man. So yeah, we don't fucking like it here, man. We're waiting till where we're gonna be first. Matter of fact, we're gonna be more than first. First ain't even cutting it, man. You know, first ain't even fucking cutting it. We want to be more than first, man. We don't even want there to be a race. We just want to win it. You know what I mean? But first we have to win this race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Statement, run that you may obtain.
Right.
Because one receives the prize.
Right.
As it's written in 1 Corinthians 9 chapter. The ultimate prize is salvation, being accommodated with the kingdom, man, in all things. Outside of Revelation 21:7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things.
Right.
He will be a son to me, and I will be his power, man.
Right.
That's what we want, man. Okay? You know, so like it says, when the things that we see are temporal, when the things we can't see are eternal, man.
Right.
The kingdom is gonna be an eternal kingdom. We're never gonna go into captivity under another nation. We're never going to be oppressed. Like it says, none shall be able to oppress him that has gotten the victory.
Right.
Once we get the victory, that's it, man. All the promises that the Lord Yahweh promised unto us, okay, are going to be given into our hands, and we're going to enjoy it forever, man. Forever and ever, even forever.
Right.
You know? It's fuck this place, man. You see? Everything that's happening here, I mean, what did they expect? Smoke weed every day?
Smoke weed rest of their lives.
Smoke weed every day, go home and play 2K, you know? That's literally Jake's life. You know, and go to a Foot Locker and cop some expensive shoes to keep in a box.
Right.
You know, that's Jake's life. Is that really what you want here for the rest of your fucking life, man? You don't want dominion or women or children. You don't want substance. You don't want rest. You're not getting no damn rest. Having to pay rent. Aren't you tired of paying rent?
Yep.
You know?
Damn, so and rent's going up. Oh man.
And pretty soon chip's gonna come into play, and you're gonna have to be able to take that to be able to pay your rent and to buy or sell.
Right.
What are you gonna do then?
Right.
You know, that's why we're hasting the day of our Lord Yahweh Shai, because yes, it's gonna be a day of wrath, a day of destruction. But Lord willing, of the elect is gonna be a day of deliverance, man. The greatest day of the greatest deliverance.
Right.
I'll go back to this. We finished off here. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hastened greatly.
Right.
Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
Right.
These different armies, man, they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna be so afraid, but yet there's fight. The Lord's gonna harden these different armies' hearts to come up against them in battle, and they're gonna fail not, man. They're gonna get utterly slaughtered. You know.
Right.
Verse 15. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation,
right.
A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. As it's written, man, in 2 Ezra 15:24, woe unto you who sin, keep not my commandments. The Lord's going to deliver you to death and destruction.
Right.
A lot of you are going to get preserved all the way until Yahweh Shai comes back. Hey, man, if you know, a little bit of the elect, but if I were to curse, man, I'd rather be, starve to death of a famine than, you know what I'm saying, being destroyed by a very previous way to go out.
Yeah.
Verse 18, last verse, it says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. All these people that have all these riches, man, even these higher up elites are not going to be able to deliver. They're going to be in those bunkers, man. All right, but they're just to be dug out by the elect men coming down off the chariots, man. Right. So in Revelations 21:1, it says, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. What land, man? America, Babylon the Great. It's prophesied to be desolated according to the Holy Scriptures, man. It says, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
Right.
Yeah, because the day of vengeance is in his heart, man, and he hated sinners. You know, as it's written in Psalm 12th chapter. See, that's so, hey, man, knowing all these things, man, knowing of the destruction that's coming to America, aka Babylon the Great. Scripture say, examine yourself before judgment, man. Before the judgment comes, before the decree spring forward, seek the Lord, man, while he may be found. Before all this hell breaks loose here in the time to come, and before our Lord Yahweh Shai pops up. Once he pops up, now you're going to be destroyed, or you're going to be delivered, man. You see? So put therefore on as the elect, and again, give diligence to make the calling of the elect before, man. Every day, thank the Lord that you got the truth, and pray that he continues to deal with you, so that you can do the things that are pleasing unto him, man.
Right.
It's the Most High that works in you to both will and to do his good pleasure. So always pray. These are times of prayer, man. Every fucking day, you have to pray. You can't miss a day of prayer. You can't do that, man. That shouldn't happen. You shouldn't go 1 day or 2 days, oh, I didn't pray. And sometimes it is hard to pray, brothers always stick out your flesh, man. Demons trying to attack you, trying to get in your mind. So pray for strength, man. And before your spirit to overcome that, those demons in the flesh trying to come up against you, because it's a constant battle, as we know. So what's that Galatians? Say, man, with that, man, continue to be diligent, continue to pray, and continue to serve Yahweh Bashim Shai to the best of your ability and faith. And with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth, righteousness and sincerity, and peace, blessings, and salutations unto the elect scattered abroad, being grafted in on the obedience of the truth through the faith. Shalom. Shalom.